Friday is going to be another big day for you because you're releasing the second part of your EP. But
hmm
before we get into all that good stuff, I'd love to start from the very beginning. Could you talk about your story a little bit and how you got into making music?
Yeah. So I started playing guitar when I was like 10 years old, and then started like doing like mashups and stuff like that throughout high school. Then eventually I took like an electronic music class in high school, and I just started making, little beats or whatever. And I threw them on YouTube, threw them on SoundCloud, and then, just got noticed, got show offers from that stuff. And yeah, and it kind of just snowballed from there. Now we're here.
Wow, that's so cool that your high school even offered something like that.
I
I
know,
feel
yeah,
like
it's
that's
pretty
so
unique.
unusual.
Yeah, definitely unique for sure. But yeah, that was like a huge help for me personally.
Yeah, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Vermont, went to school in Vermont. So yeah, it was kind of like a smaller school, but it was just like very open-minded. And they had like a lot of cool things that they offered there, including like that class. So yeah, helped out a lot.
Yeah, and that's so cool that you're a New England guy. I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah,
super
yep.
dope. You're our neighbor over there in
New
Vermont.
England fam, baby, hell yeah.
Hell
My grandma
yeah.
actually lives in Maine. That's funny.
No kidding. What part?
She lives like 20 minutes north of Portland.
Correct. So she will hear this and see
Yep.
this if she listens.
I'll tell her to tune in. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That's amazing. I assume she's a listener already to Hot Radio Maine. I
Yeah,
can't imagine any other way.
big supporter, I'm sure. Yes.
I gotta know, you have such a cool name, Marvel Years. How did you come up with that? Where did that come from?
Well, it started originally as Wonder Years. Basically, I was just like thinking when I started making music in high school, I was like, man, like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should go to college and get like a 9 to 5 or like if I should just pursue the music thing. And I started thinking like, this is the time of my life to like pursue music if I really want to. And I kind of coined it like the Wonder Years, like trying to figure myself out personally as well as professionally. And then there was a TV show called The Wonder Years, and there's a band called The Wonder Years. So I changed it to Marvel because like Wonder and Marvel like kind of mean the same thing.
Totally, love that. Last Friday, you released a new single, Shades On. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired this track for you?
Yeah, Shades On. Actually, I wrote it. I lived in LA for a little bit. So I was just like driving down the PCH one day, like during sunset. And I just had this like tune in my head that I was like humming to myself. And it kind of just reminded me, like, that's how I wrote it. It reminded me of just like driving through California during a sunset, looking at the ocean type of thing. So yeah, that's kind of where like the idea of it came from.
That's so cool. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I get my most creative ideas while I'm driving and just kind of spacing out, even though
Mhm.
maybe I shouldn't be on the road. But you know how it is when you kind of
Yeah.
black out driving and just have those moments.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I get a lot like song ideas. I get like weird times too, like driving or like when I'm skateboarding or, like in the shower, I'll come up with something. It's like, but the most random times I come up with music that I run back to my computer and like press record, like try and lay something down real quick.
Yeah, you never know when it's gonna hit you for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
This coming Friday, you're going to be releasing the second part of your Voyage Ahead EP. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so the Voyage Ahead part one, I mostly wrote that through COVID. So like when I was on lockdowns. And then part two, I wrote like when we were just getting out of COVID, like when I was getting back on the road. So it made sense for me to like split them up a little bit. So part two is kind of a continuation. It's almost like an evolution of the music. So you could listen to part one first, and then part two, you could kind of hear the growth and the music evolving a little bit.
Yeah, very cool. I'm very excited to hear that on Friday. And I'm sure you'll be playing a lot from both of those at your gig coming up in Providence. I saw you're doing a Halloween weekend thing there. What can you say about that event?
Yeah, I was stoked on that one, man. I haven't played a show in Rhode Island in a minute. So it's gonna be sick to get up there, New England fam.
Yeah.
I live in New York City right now, so it's like not too far away. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of friends come down from Vermont for that one. So that should be really sick. I'm really stoked on that show.
That's awesome. Have you ever performed in Maine before?
Yeah, I played in Providence a couple times, and I just did a festival up there.
Oh, I thought I saw that actually in Lebanon maybe.
Yes, yeah, that's where it was. Yep.
Yes, when I was looking at your Facebook, I was like, well, wait a second. That's crazy. How was that?
It was awesome. Yeah, I love Maine, man. Like I'm from Vermont, so like I like the woods, and I just love everything about Maine. That's like maybe where I'll retire when I'm older.
I love
Done
to hear
touring.
it.
Yeah,
It is kind of the perfect place to settle down. You got everything you need: the mountains, the ocean, your
exactly.
grandmother.
Yep, that's all you need right
That's all
there.
you need.
Yep.
Do you have any other performances coming up that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I got shows pretty much every weekend till December. But I'm playing Denver, Colorado this Friday, so that should be fun. Hitting the Pacific Northwest after that, so really stoked to get up there. Yeah, so just all over the country, basically. Really stoked to like be touring again after the whole COVID thing. It's like
Yeah.
this is like the real tour. We're back, baby. Like I'm
Yes.
stoked.
I love that. And I'm glad you mentioned Denver because I've seen that you've done a lot of different shows with Maddie O'Neill,
Mhm.
who I love. I got to interview her a few months ago and she's awesome. What is it about your friendship? How did you guys meet?
Man, I've known Maddie the longest out of anybody I know in the music industry.
Oh
Like I played my
my God.
first show with her in Denver when I was like 18. So I've
Yeah.
known Maddie. Maddie's like my sister in the touring industry and just like in general. Like I love that girl, man. She's like one of my favorite people ever. And
How
she's like
cool
the
is she?
best to tour with, like straight up. Like I
She is
love
so
touring with
cool.
her.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hopefully more to come from you two. What are your goals for after this EP drops on Friday?
I got a couple like singles coming out towards the end of the year, but my main goal is like finish. I'm writing an album right now.
What?
So like I'm trying to, like juggle the EP thing while writing an album. So after this drops, it'll be over, it'll be out there, and then I'm just gonna focus on an album and hopefully have that done by the end of the year, and get it out early next year. So I'm really stoked on that.
Yes, that's great. So lots to look forward to from you. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
What artists have you been listening to lately?
Man, a lot of like Bob Moses, actually. I've been like really into Bob Moses lately. And then also just like no specific artist, but I've been digging through SoundCloud a lot, looking for like up and comers. So there's like this dude, Cool Customer on SoundCloud, which I really love. He's from Colorado. Yeah, just like digging basically, just trying to find new music to play live and also just like for inspiration and stuff like that.
Yeah, very cool. You never know what you're gonna find on SoundCloud, honestly.
It really is a
So
treasure trove over
it
there. I love
is.
it.
For sure. Well, last but certainly not least, here in the state of Maine, our state motto is the way life should be. So I want to know, according to you, what is the way life should be?
Man, spend it with friends, man. That's
Hmm.
one thing I'm learning the older I get, even with touring, staying sane on the road, touring, like just having friends, and just having people you could talk to and like interact with and like love is like so important. So yeah, just spend as much time with your friends as you can and reach out to them.
Yeah.
Tell them you love them.
Yes,
You know
I
what I'm
love
saying?
that. Yes, and that's more important than ever, especially after the whole pandemic we just went through and not being able to see people for so long. We can't take that for granted ever again, for
Exactly.
sure.
Yep, exactly.
Well, amazing. Thank you again so much for taking the time to chat with me today, and I can't wait for the second part of the EP on Friday.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Take care. I'll see you next time you come visit Maine, all right?
Cool. Sounds good.
Awesome. See you.
Thanks.